Top of the morning, everybody. It's 8 in the morning. It's a glorious Wednesday. It's a glorious hump day. It's a little smoggy out here. I guess it was drizzling or raining earlier. It's gonna rain for the next 3 days. Drizzle off and on, whatever. But yeah, people, you already know, man. The early bird always get the worm. It's always good to be pro-productive. What I mean by pro-productive is, you have people that's productive, then you have people that's pro-productive. Productive is when, you being, prosperous, you ambitious, you moving forward, and you always striving to be to do things that's beneficial. But being pro-productive is like you're all for anything that's just on that type of time and nothing else. Because there's people that's productive, but they indulge in bullshit too. You know what I'm saying? Then there's people that's pro-productive where, they just want to for everything that's dealing with growth and development. Because at the end of the day, the goal is to always be an asset and not a liability. And all assets don't have to be financial. You could be a physical asset, you could be a mental asset, you could be a spiritual asset to people. You could be an asset just by preventing things. You have people that indulge in crime prevention. And I ain't talking about police and stuff. You have people like different groups like SOS, Save Our Streets, Put Your Guns Down. There's different groups like that they go through urban environments and try to stop wars and gang wars and crime and stuff like that. But yeah, I wanted to say, the track is empty, as y'all can see. There's only one guy here. That's why I like coming here early. I've been since 7 o'clock this morning. I love coming here early. I finished my pull-ups, push-ups, and dips. I'm about to jog in a minute. But I had got a haircut like 2 days ago. My shit growing back fast. That testosterone is active. But what I wanted to say is this also, people. I see a lot of kids going to school. When I was on my way here, you see a lot of kids going to school. They uniformed and stuff like that, right? The U.S. government is interested, is highly interested, and eventually they will implement it. But they're trying to follow a lot of institutional programs that come from China. With how, how a lot of the kids is uniformed and they programmed and stuff like that. When your kids go to school and they come home, you should evaluate their mind and find out what their teachers is teaching them and what they're learning. When I grew up, I had two educations. The education, there's I already broke that down before. There's multiple educations, but there's the education you learn in school, there's the education you learn in the streets, and there's the education you learn at home. Those are the three essential educations. Then then you can add the education you learn through religion or through prison, and then the sixth one is your final assessment on how you will put everything together and break it all down. But yeah, when your kids come home, y'all should evaluate them, be hands-on with their homework, and see what these institutions is teaching them. Because at the end of the day, the colonizers and the oppressors, they will never, ever really liberate the minds of their subjects or their captives. You know what I'm saying? They will never liberate or truly educate the minds of their captives. And whether y'all want to admit it or not, because y'all might have a nice car, a nice chain, a house, or whatever, we're captives. And what I mean by captives is we're held against our will. And it don't necessarily have to be physically. It could be mentally, because these people don't want to tell the truth. They don't want to really reveal to society how destructive and parasitic and demonic they is. And just truth. Sometimes the truth will set you free, but they'll always alter history and they'll always alter the narrative, because once they ever reveal to the world who they really are in pure form, the world will see they ain't about nothing, and they came from a lot of bullshit. So that's why they do a lot of bullshit, because these people came from nothing. They had nothing, and then they try to invent something to make it into something. And what I mean by that is the currency, the paper currency, the money. They make it seem like something, but it really ain't about nothing. It's needed for this system in order to be productive and move around and purchase things we need. But it's really a distraction, because it's paper. It's printed up paper. It ain't like it's gold or diamonds. It's not a essential earthly element. It is when it's a tree, but once you break it into paper form and all, that's a manipulated element, and really paper has no worth. But yeah, in school, they'll teach your kids, all these deviant things. They trying to teach, the sodomite agenda in school. They want to teach kids about LGBT and stuff like that. So when your kids come home, you should give them, if you're able to provide this, you should give them an alternative education in regards to financial literacy, group economics, real cultural history. They should know they lineage, if you're aware of that, if you're Haitian or Dominican, or you should teach them the history of like the whole Haitian history, or the whole Dominican history, or the whole Puerto Rican history, and then it should lead into whatever where that derived from, and the essence of that, but just always try to bring them self-awareness and let them know who they are, physically, culturally, and try to build them up, with financial literacy and group economics, because that's important. They not teaching this in school. They want to teach you Christopher Columbus, Christmas. They want to teach you a whole bunch of razzle-dazzle, mystical fairyland shit, but they ain't really trying to teach these kids nothing that's going to help them be better leaders of tomorrow, productive leaders in the future, with businesses and banking and stuff like that. And I know y'all know this information already, but sometimes it's good, to remind each other of what we need to do. I hate when people bring dogs to the racing track area and all that. The dogs is very unhygienic. You know what I'm saying? Everybody feel they need a dog, but that's another story, man. But yeah, everybody, have a benevolent day, man. Be blessed, be well, travel with the light, stay productive, be pro-productive, be ambitious. Things that beneficial will be beneficial. And, just be mindful, man. And I'm going to sign off. Pay attention to your surroundings. Pay attention to what's going on in society. Don't listen to too much news. That should taint your mind. It'll give you headaches, because they constantly drilling and prepping you. And it is repetitive in content. So, just be careful with the news, too. And try to seek alternative routes for information. Accurate, sound information. But anyway, stay blessed, everybody. Be healthy. Ambition is the transition. Movement is medicine. The gods don't mingle with the mortals, and kings don't eat with the peasants. The only time wise men hang around fools is when they educate them or enslaving them. Stay up like a cup, I holler back with my collar crack. We get up like sit-ups. Iron. Unarm. Oxygen.